Hello boys and girls, it is grammar time. So for grammar this week, we are going to be talking about something called adjectives. All right, we've talked a little bit about adjectives already, but we're going to do a little more this week. Okay, so an adjective is a describing word. So an adjective describes a noun. Now remember, we know what a noun is. It's a person, place, or thing, right? So Miss Rabbito, that's a noun. Water bottle is a noun. Whiteboard is a noun. Timothy Christian School, that's a noun. So these are all nouns because they're a person, place, or thing. And an adjective tells us about the noun. So it can tell us the number, the color, the size, the shape of the noun. It can tell us about how something smells, looks, tastes, feels, sounds. So there are a lot of different adjectives and different words that we can use to describe those things. So we're going to read a few sentences and look for the describing word, the adjective in them. Then I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine who's going to also teach us about adjectives. Okay, so remember, an adjective is a describing word. It tells us about the noun. All right, so let's read a couple sentences and see if we can find our adjectives. All right, so here we go. Perfect. Now read along with me, please. A big crow floated in the sky. Excellent. One more time. A big crow floated in the sky. All right? Good job, good job. Okay, so a big crow floated in the sky. What's our describing word? There's a word in there that tells us something about a noun. First, let's find our nouns. That might help us because usually an adjective comes right before a noun. So let's see if we can find a noun. Let me find another color to use. How about green, since it's spring? Get some spring green in here. All right, a big crow floated in the sky. One of our nouns is crow, right? Because a crow is a type of bird. So here's our noun. Okay, and another noun is actually sky. Now, which one of these nouns has a describing word in front of it? A word that tells us about it? Crow, right? What word comes right before crow? Big. So we know this is a big crow. The word big tells us about the size of the crow. So that describes the crow. So the word big, we don't have to underline these anymore. The word big is our adjective. It's our describing word. It is telling us about the crow. Okay? It's telling us about the size of the crow. That it is a big crow. So big is our adjective. Excellent. All right, let's read our next sentence and see if we can find our describing word. All right, here we go. I feel the hot sun on my face. All right, read it with me one more time out loud. I feel the hot sun on my face. Okay, so there is one word in here that describes a noun. All right, so remember, an adjective comes right before the noun. So sometimes finding the nouns, like we did before when we found crow and sky, sometimes finding the noun is helpful. But sometimes, eventually you're going to be so good at finding adjectives you won't even have to find the noun. You're just going to know, oh, there's the adjective, there's the describing word. All right, so which one of these words in this sentence describes a noun? Maybe it tells how something feels. If you said the word hot, then you are correct. Hot is our adjective. It describes how the sun feels. It describes how the sun feels on someone's face. Have you ever stood outside and closed your eyes and just let the sun on your face? And you felt the hot sun just kind of warm up your face a little bit? That's kind of what's happening in this sentence. So the word hot describes the sun. Sun is a noun, right? That's a thing. So the word hot describes the noun sun and tells us how the sun feels. So hot is our adjective. All right, are you ready to meet my friend? I'm very excited for you to meet her. All right, I gotta turn this guy around. So, let's turn this. Oh, here she is. This is my friend, Adjective Annie. Adjective Annie. She loves describing things. She loves using adjectives and telling you about how things look or how they feel or what they sound like or what color they are or how many of them there are. She loves describing things. Adjective Annie loves describing things. So we are actually going to practice our adjectives with her. And we are going to write some adjectives in the space around here. So we need to come up with words that can describe how something, like I was saying before, how something feels, sounds, smells, tastes, looks. We can tell the number, how many of them there are, the color that it is, the size, or the shape. All right? So I'm going to come up with some, and then later this week, on Thursday, you're actually going to draw your own adjective, Annie. She can look a little different than mine. Doesn't have to look just like mine. You can make a different one. Use your imagination. So we're going to have another adjective, Annie, and then you're going to put your own adjectives around her. All right? So, here's my marker. Okay, let me think. You know what? I'm going to look at Annie and describe her, because that's going to help me think of adjectives. So if I look at Annie, I see she has curly hair. The word curly is an adjective because it describes a noun, her hair, right? So let me put the word curly. That is an adjective. It describes adjective Annie's hair. Describes her hair. Good. Now, how about her shirt? Her shirt is purple. She has a purple shirt. The word purple is an adjective. It's not just a color, it's also an adjective. It describes what her shirt looks like. All right, so let's put this on the side here. Purple. Good. Let's see. Let me think of some other ones. How about cold? Sometimes it feels cold, right? Hopefully today it's a warm day, but sometimes it feels cold. Cold describes how something feels. Maybe you could say, it is a cold day. Or, it is cold inside my house. Like those things describe the nouns. So cold is another adjective. Let's see, how about exciting? Oh, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. Exciting. If you can say like, oh, this is an exciting movie. If there's a movie that has a lot of action in it and you don't know what's going to happen, this is an exciting movie. Very good. So we'll put exciting because that tells us about how something is, how something feels. Maybe it feels very exciting, right? How about bumpy? Have you ever like pet a lizard or something like that, whether you own one or if you've seen one at the zoo and you were allowed to pet it? Sometimes they're a little bumpy, right? That's how they feel. So bumpy is another adjective. Oops, almost spelled it wrong. There we go, bumpy. Good, excellent. Now, what if I asked you to describe the sky? What could we say? We could say, well, it is a big sky, right? We could use the word big. We saw that one already. And it is a blue sky. Blue, another color, that's another describing word. All right? So we have a bunch of describing words here. Or you can describe how some of these words look. Like look at the word curly. It looks straight, right? That word cold looks straight, bumpy looks straight. What about the word purple? That looks crooked. Crooked is another adjective. Let's put crooked here. We can't make crooked straight, so we'll make that a little slanted too. Crooked, that is also an adjective. And let's see, we can fit one more. How about describing the size of something? So we said big, that was in one of our sentences. How about small? If something is small, you can say that is a small dog or that is a small toy. You're describing and telling us what the toy is like or what the dog is like. So let's put the word small here and we'll write it really small just to be funny. There we go. Nice and small. So those are adjectives, and Adjective Annie, we gave her some new adjectives for her to use today, which is always super fun. So those are adjectives, boys and girls. So this week you're going to be working on some worksheets where you will have to find the adjectives, and you will have to circle them or underline them, and you're going to have to actually choose adjectives and write your own sentences with them. And with your spelling sentences, you're going to be doing some spelling sentences later this week. I want you to use some adjectives in your sentences so I can see how you're describing different nouns. All right, very good, boys and girls. Keep up the good work.